Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. Unemployment has always been a bane of India. Either our GDP and job growth have been slower than the growth in the employable youth of the nation, or it has been a jobless growth in India because of many factors. The lack of jobs is a huge economic, political, social, and emotive issue, and therefore, job promises of politicians do get them massive votes in elections. It was the Prime Minister himself who had promised millions of new jobs in his 2014 election campaign, which he failed to deliver, of course, and he thus forgot it conveniently. With India recording a receding jobless growth since 2016, it was very obvious that the BJP did not make job creation as an election promise in the 2019 elections. The fact is that India's GDP growth rate as well as job creation have both receded and faltered since 2016. As growth dipped in India year after year, so did the buildup of jobs. And as investments in fresh projects languished, fresh jobs just did not come by. What aggravated the unemployment further were the draconian demonetization and the hurried GST, both of which dealt a body blow to the MSME sector, which happens to be a huge job generator in the country. As the MSME units closed down or downsized in lakhs, jobs were the first casualty. Rising unemployment is there to see, but the latest quarterly employment survey report or QES of the government speaks otherwise and expectedly paints a rosy picture on the job front. After all, it's a government document. The QES was started in 2008-2009, but it was suddenly discontinued in 2017-18. It has now been revived after 4 years, with the Labour Minister releasing the QES for June 2021 quarter. During this period, there was no official labour data available, and the government thus referred to the EPFO enrollment numbers as proof of job creation, whereas it is only a proof of formalization of the labour force and not necessarily of creation of new jobs. This QES report is based on a survey of 10,900 entities with a labour force of 10 or more. While releasing the QES report, the minister said that this data will contribute to evidence-based policy making and statistics-based execution, he says. He says that the robust data will help the government in framing a sound national employment policy. The QES says that between 2013-2014 to 30th June 2021, jobs in the organized non-farm sector that it has surveyed have grown from 23.7 million in 2013-14 to 30.8 million now, which is a jump of 29% in 8 years and a growth rate of 3.3% per annum. The sectors that recorded the highest growth in jobs during this period were the IT BPO sector, healthcare, transport, financial services, construction, education and manufacturing. The sectors of trade, accommodation and restaurants actually saw a decline in the total number of jobs over this 8-year period. The not so good news is that over this period, there was a decline in the participation of women in the organized sector labor force, and that their total numbers fell from 31% of the total labor force to just about 29%, which is not a good thing. About the impact of COVID on the labor situation, the report says that the total organized sector jobs as at 30th June stand at 30.8 million as against 30.7 million, it says, in the pre-COVID time in March 2020, thus claiming it to be a total job recovery. According to the QS report, between 25th March 2020 to July 2020, just about 2.3 million jobs were lost in the organized sector. During the lockdown, it says that the highest number of operational establishments which were open were 88.9% establishments in healthcare, which is understandable, and 71.6% in financial services, and that the maximum non-operational ones were in education, in restaurant, and in accommodation. The QES further says that 80% of employees got full wages in the lockdown period and just about 20% got either nil or reduced wages, something which is a matter of challenge and debate. Like any other government data, the QES shows a very rosy picture of the job scenario in India, which is quite disconnected from the ground reality in our opinion. It has raised an objection, it has raised an eyebrow on many of its claims and findings. And what are they? The survey says that during the 8-year period of 2013-14 to now, manufacturing jobs increased by 22%. This surprises India's former chief statistician Sri Pranab Sen, who points out that the manufacturing sector was severely badly impacted by demonetization and by the lockdown, and thus such a buildup of jobs in the manufacturing sector, as the QS claims, is thus just not possible according to him. The second objection comes is that it is not clear on what basis the 2013-14 figures of jobs have been taken at 23.7 million and those in March 20 have been taken at 30.7 million, which completely makes the data authenticity to be suspect. The data does not include establishments employing less than 10 workers, which incidentally have faced the maximum strike during this period and therefore makes the overall data a half-truth at the best. The QS figures then are not in sync with those of the CMI data, whose recurring and continuous household surveys show a much grimmer picture of the employment scenario in the non-farm sector. The next issue that comes is that labor experts find the claim that 80% of employees were paid full salary during the lockdown period to be unbelievable, and they think that it must be at best the claims made by the laborers and not the actual wages paid by the employers. The migrant crisis, the GDP contraction of 24.4% in the quarter ended June 20, and the widespread closures in contact-intensive sectors like hotels, restaurants, etc. mean that fewer workers were paid full wages during the lockdown period, and it cannot be that 80% of workers got their full wages. The next is that the increase in jobs in the IT BPO sector were an impressive 152% during this 8-year period according to the report. But then the contribution of this sector to total jobs is just 7% in the country, and that tells the real story and not that 152% increase. Further, its claim of 42% increase in jobs in the construction sector does not match with the protracted downturn in the sector that we have seen during this period. And even if these job numbers are correct, the jobs build-up has certainly trailed the GDP expansion rate in the country. GDP growth rate receded, and so did job growth rate even more because of that. To get a feel of the real jobs picture on a total basis and not just of the organized non-farm sector as the QS attempts to portray, it is worth looking at the CMI data, whose findings significantly differ from those of the QES. The CMI says that in absolute terms, of the total 403.5 million jobs in 2019-20, only 282 million survived the draconian lockdown. Though jobs returned swiftly thereafter by July 2020, yet the CMI says that 11.1 million jobs were lost and they have not come back. It then says that the jobs return stopped there and recovery thereafter has been very slow. In August 21, which is 17 months after the lockdown of April 2020, the total jobs in the country stand at 397.8 million, which is below the pre-pandemic figure of 403.5 million jobs in 2019-20. It means that even as of now, 5.7 million jobs are yet to return. And of course, that means that a buildup of additional jobs is still a far cry away. The CMI then says that the overall unemployment stands at a high figure of 7 to 8% in India, with urban joblessness being far more than that in the rural areas. The employment rate in August 21 stands at 2.2% lower than what it was in 2019-20, which is what the real job picture is all about and not what the QES says. The recovery of jobs after the lockdown has been discriminating according to the CMIE. Job losses are concentrated among the salaried class. Urban India has a 32% contribution of the total jobs, but it has suffered 65% of the job losses that took place. And thus, of the 5.7 million jobs that have been lost, 3.7 million were lost in urban India. The biggest hit to job losses has been primarily in the salaried class and also in the self-employed entrepreneurs who today perhaps have often become self-unemployed. The fact of the matter is that as the CMIE head Mahesh Vyas points out, the plight is bad for the salaried employees in India. Unlike a daily wage worker who gets back to work after the lockdown is lifted, a salaried one cannot go back to the same job, and finding a new one today is not easy. This will create greater household stress, and since the salary jobs are far better paying ones than those in the daily wage labor market, their loss has had a greater impact on aggregate demand in the economy and therefore also on the GDP growth in the country. The reality, according to us, is that it is a CMI which has been pointing out the true overall picture. And the overall picture is that the job loss have yet to come back. Until they don't come back, let's not talk about an incremental growth, which we think is still far away. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.